What is going on, Nerd Paraders? Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for coming to hang here with me again today as we play some more ARK Survival Evolved, working on Project Old School and changing the game for the better, in this nerd's opinion. So what we've done with Project Old School is we've completely revamped the Engram system. And you may have guessed by the title of this video, we've done something even crazier now, and we are working on the taming system. And a lot of this comes with the help of the immersive taming mod, and it's a highly customizable mod, and we're going to be using a lot of features from it in order to achieve some of the really cool features that we're shooting for in Project Old School. Now, if you're not familiar with what Project Old School is, never fear, Nerd Parade is here. I'm going to tell you what it is. And Project Old School was inspired by the older days of ARK Survival Evolved, the simpler times where tech didn't really exist, and we had all those fond, fun memories of playing the game and our first experiences with Dinosaurs and Creatures. We're taking that a step further, and we're bringing the game back to that non-tech era, and we're also fixing all of the problems that we as gamers have with ARK. All of our gripes, we're taking that out and we're making it better. So look forward to some more Project Old School stuff coming your way. If you want to see what we've done so far, be sure to check out the previous videos on this playlist on this very channel. But before we jump any further into this video, introductions are in order. I am Nick, this is Nerd Parade, and let's kick this video off right. Okay, so what we're going to be working on here today, as I mentioned, is some taming stuff, and we've completely revamped a lot of the taming within Project Old School. We're going to do something very simple and fun, and we're going to start with dodos. All right, so we have a decent amount of dodos now wandering around, and this actually creates a perfect opportunity for me to show off some of the cool things that we've been doing with not only dodos, but all the other creatures at Project Old School. We're revamping them. We're giving old forgotten creatures that most deem to be useless now in current ARK a new purpose. So we'll start the video off with a bit of a laugh here by talking about our friend, the mascot, the dodo of ARK Survival Evolved. So raise your hand if you're a fan of Legend of Zelda series. I am a fan of the Legend of Zelda series, and you may already know where I'm going to go with this, but what is the one thing that you never do in Legend of Zelda? Any Zelda game. The one thing you never do is mess with the cuckoos. You never mess with the cuckoos. So we did something really memey and hilarious with the dodos in Project Old School. And if you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. We made it so where all of the dodos in a specific area, if you mess with one of them, will aggro on you, and they will chase you until they either die or you die. They will chase you to the ends of the earth. They're dumb creatures. They went extinct for a reason. That's because of their bloodlust, their thirst for murder. I'm in creative mode. I don't know why I'm running, but we did something really funny and memey with the dodos, and this is one of the things that I was really proud of, and it's a tip of the hat to the Legend of Zelda series with the cuckoos, and that's what it was inspired by. So let's murder some of these guys off, because until I kill them or they kill me, they are infinitely going to be angry. And I hope you enjoy the little bit of memes. We're also still working on a tamed version of the dodo. This is more of a memey thing, like the wild ones will just chase you to the ends of the earth until they die or you die. But we want the dodo to actually serve a purpose. So we're working on some really cool ideas for tamed dodos. And we're going to tame some dodos now with our new crazy taming mechanics. All right, we got a couple more dodos back in here. And one of the things that always irked me in ARK Survival Evolved was the taming mechanics. And they're the same. They're blanket across every creature in ARK. The taming mechanics are the same. You whack creature on head till creature go night-night, and then you put berries and or meat or other foods in their butt for over the course of a couple of hours until they become friends with you. That seems weird to me. If I got ambushed and someone's like, hey, does this smell like chloroform to you? And I pass out, and somebody spends the greater part of an hour to 2 hours putting random things that are food-related into my beehole, I tell you one thing, I'm not going to wake up friendly with that person. I'm not going to be like, hey, let's go to the zoo. We're best friends now. That's not going to happen. There's no way that you would tame, like, a stray dog that comes to your neighborhood and you're like, oh, puppy. You're not going to be like, Here, have some food. It's not going to happen, never. So taming in ARK Survival Evolved should not be like that. At least that's our thoughts. So we're working with the immersive taming mod, like I mentioned earlier in this video, and what we have here on this foundation is the food bait station. If we look at the food bait station, there's several different types of baits for taming. What we're currently going to be focusing on this video is the dodos, because each creature in ARK Survival Evolved has their own taming method. And in fact, I have something really cool in my inventory, a very customizable item that tells you what you can tame and what is needed to tame that we've customized for the servers, for the Project Old School servers. An item that will guide you how to tame the creatures on the Ark in this new fantastical way, so you won't go into it blind. Now, the way that you get this taming journal is you're going to have to interact with the wild NPCs that we've shown off in previous videos, the trappers, or I think the other one is capturers or something like that. So the ones that have their names synonymous with taming other creatures. You're going to have to interact with them, whether peacefully or aggressively, and get their taming journal. And then once you have it, you'll be like, oh, you can tame these creatures? Look at all these notes this other guy has for me. But anyway, I digress. We've got some bait on our bar here. We've got the berry bait bag. These guys are passive. And we're going to throw this down. Now, I know I've been really wordy, and I know I've gone over a lot of information, but this isn't the only way to tame the dodo, for example. There's more ways to tame creatures than just the one way. In fact, with the dodo, we have 3 ways. The first one is going to be this berry bag. It's bait. He's like, oh, I smell something delicious. Oh! They're all intrigued by my generosity. And the taming process has begun. They wish to have more baits. Yes, have more baits. They wish to have more baits. I'm feeding them like you would feed birds in the park. You throw seeds at them. And they're like, oh, you're a really friendly dude. I'm going to come up to you every day when you eat lunch here on this bench and be your friend because you give me seeds and other foods and pieces of your sandwich and bread. There's so much cool here. There's so much cool that we could do with the taming system in ARK Survival Evolved, especially with ARK Project Old School here. Oh, now I get to care for him. Yes, it's a good baby. It's a good dodo. We are friends. We will be friends very soon. So once you've fed them, you can now interact with them. And what did he throw at me? Did he throw poop at me? What is this? Oh, he gave me some thatch. That's nice. Thank you. Very nice of you. I will accept your tribute. You now have to interact with these creatures. So you've thrown out a berry bag, you pet him, and they're going to come back up to you in a little while. You're going to interact with them, and eventually the taming process will be completed. For us, on the servers, the speed is all customizable. It's really, really awesome. But I'm going to digress a little bit and talk about the other ways to tame creatures. So a dodo, for example, dodos, you always see them battling on the beach with dillos or something of that nature. You can start the taming process with a dodo. I will care for you, my child. You can start the taming process with a dodo and other creatures that we have in Project Old School by helping it in combat. So you can go up to the dodo that's being eaten by the dillo. You could be like, no, dillo, imaginary dillo, I'm punching you. Get away from dodo. And the dodo's like, thank you. I love you. And you can start the taming process from that. That also is going to work with things like trikes, brontos, like when trikes are battling T-Rexes or Carnos or something in the wild. If you assist that creature, they're going to be like, oh, you're awesome. You're not going to club it over the head or shoot it full of like chloroform darts and then put berries in its butt and then be like, wake up, we're best friends now. No, you get to do cool stuff. The taming is going to be immersive, as it should be. Another way, and the third way for dodos specifically, there's other ways for other creatures, but we're talking about dodos kind of specifically here now. And this applies to other creatures as well. In Project Old School, something that never made sense to me in Vanilla Ark, why it didn't exist, only with wyverns, but now you're probably knowing where I'm going with this, and rock drakes. Wild fertilized eggs in nests will spawn the same as we have wild babies that spawn in Project Old School. We're going to call you pal. So since we have wild babies that spawn in the environment, the next step for us in Project Old School makes sense to have wild nests, wild fertilized eggs. So if you happen upon one of these in the wild, you can simply grab the egg and go. Now, things are going to happen if you're caught. You know, they're not going to just let you walk away with the baby. But if you can steal an egg and get away, you can raise that egg the same way that you would do wyvern or rock drake egg raising. It just never made sense to me that it didn't apply blanketly to all creatures in ARK. It should have. If you encounter a wild nest, you get the egg, you could go raise that creature. You're its new mama. To dangle the carrot with our taming system a little bit more, we're making things really, really exciting, and I'm going to talk to you about how to tame a Rex. Now, we're going to do a video of taming of Rexes and all the creatures that have cool taming mechanics here coming on the channel soon, TM. But we're going to talk about it and tease it a little bit here in this video because this is the very first video we're doing on our Project Old School taming system. Say a Rex, for example. You're like, okay, you showed me how to tame dodos, Nick. Let's talk about the big creatures. Let's talk about the carnivores. Let's talk about Rexes and Gigas. Rexes and Gigas should have a really cool and immersive taming mechanic. Not stand at a distance, shoot darts into it, and then it passes out, and then you put stuff in its butt over the course of hours. I don't like that system. I feel like it's weird and boring, and it's long just for the sake of being long, and it doesn't make sense, and it's not fun. So we're making it fun. In order to initiate the taming cycle for Rexes as one of the methods, remember I mentioned there's other methods to tame things. For Rexes, you're also going to have the option to steal their babies. You're going to have this option, which I'm going to talk about, and then maybe some other options as well. But this option that I'm really excited to talk about is the dominance option. So as I mentioned before, if you see a dodo on the beach being attacked by a dilo, if you attack the dilo and save the dodo, it'll be your friend. Well, think about that in the opposite way. Whereas if you see a Rex in the wild, it's going to be aggressive to you. Now, Rexes don't bend their will to just anybody. They shouldn't. They're primordial beasts of terror and ferocity. You have to go and fight that Rex up to a certain point, and then just before you kill it, the Rex may back off and be like, okay, look, I submit to you. You are the superior creature. And then that will allow you to then tame the Rex. If you choose you don't want to, continue munching. If you choose you want to tame them, you have to nurse that Rex back up to health, and once it's fully healed and back in tip-top shape, it will then be submissive to you and your pet. I think that's a way better way to go about taming creatures in ARK Survival Evolved, not here you go, we're buddies now. I'm really excited to hear what you guys think about this taming system and how we're implementing it here into Project Old School. So let me know in the comments below what you think, if you like it. And a lot of this is made possible, like I mentioned a couple of times in this video, with the very highly customizable mod of immersive taming. We're really bending this thing to our will, and the fact that it's so customizable allows us to make it the perfect addition to Project Old School and achieve something that was on our list alongside of completely revamping the Ingram system. We are now actively, completely revamping the taming system with this assistance. Let me know what you think, like I mentioned before, in the comments below. Tag the thumbs up button if you're excited for not only the taming changes, but Project Old School in and of itself. Join the Discord, discord.gg/nerdparade, to get all the up-to-date info on Project Old School, including when it'll be released and when you can play on it. And most importantly of all, I want you to remember to take care of yourselves out there, stay awesome, and come and hang with me again real soon in the next video. But until then, we'll catch you later.